Hello. Today I want to talk to you about compassionate communication. I think that most of us are pretty good about compassionate communication with strangers and with people we work with and with people we have some sort of professional obligation to, neighbors, acquaintances. But where we tend to fall is with people that we love. In the same way that you can have a messy house and not notice the mess because you live with it, or not notice that the paint's peeling because you see it every day, we don't always notice the way that we speak to our loved ones. And this goes not just for spouses and significant others, but also parents and children and people that we're very close to. So I'm actually thinking now of when I first started dating my husband. We were on a trip and I was taking some pictures of him. And when we got home, I was going through the pictures, and the camera I had at the time, which was a fairly early digital camera, also recorded sound. And I heard myself telling him, pose here, turn here, do this, sit down, sit up straighter, turn your head this way. It sounded like I was talking to a dog. And, that's not how I think of my husband, and it's certainly not how I thought of him when we were dating. But it's just the tone I used because I was being short and I wanted to be efficient, and he knows me, so why bother doing all of these things? And when I heard it, it really struck me. I did not want to be the sort of person who spoke to their significant other in that way, who took advantage of the love between us and who assumed that that love would remain when I spoke that way on a regular basis. That just wasn't me. And I knew that if he spoke to me that way, that it would really, really irritate me. And those irritations build up in a relationship and can really, really harm it in the long run. So I've seen this a lot with people speaking to their spouses as if they're children. And this sometimes comes from you're talking to your children and then you turn and you talk to your spouse and you use the same tone of voice and the same sort of language. And it can sound quite condescending. And then the other time is I've heard people talk to their children in ways that are not compassionate at all. So our children can irritate us, don't get me wrong, just as our children speak to us in some ways that are inappropriate and not compassionate at all, especially as they get into their teenage years, young teenage years. That doesn't mean that we as parents need to respond in that manner. We are adults and we can continue to communicate with compassion and maturity and model good behavior. And we can also call them out on the way they speak to us, or if they speak to their friends or other loved ones in this short and rude manner. So the next time you're talking to someone, especially someone you love, try and step back for a second and listen to what it is you're saying and the tone that you say it with. Are you treating them as a human being and not just somebody who happens to live in your house? Are you treating them and speaking fully to their soul and to their self? And if you're not, it's time to stop and make sure that you're mindful and present in all of your communications. And that will make a huge difference. So have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.